I built my auto shop from nothing. Then my entitled family claimed it, cut shady vendor deals, tried breaking in and demanded 25%. So I quietly gathered proof and let one courtroom reckoning shatter all they thought they owned. I built my auto shop from nothing. Then my entitled family claimed it, cut shady vendor deals, tried breaking in, and demanded 25%, so I quietly gathered proof and let one courtroom reckoning shatter everything they thought they owned. I, Ryan, 34 male, knew something was up the second I walked into my parents' house. Normally, Sunday dinner is just paper plates, mom complaining about the neighbors, and dad half asleep in his recliner. But this night, china plates, crystal glasses, fresh flowers on the table, mom smiling like she's auditioning for a toothpaste commercial. Dad shakes my hand like I'm some business associate. And Ethan, 25, male, my golden boy brother, is sitting there smirking like he just won the lottery. Yeah, red flags everywhere. Ryan, so glad you made it, Mom says, patting my back like she's guiding me into an interrogation room. I glance at the table. Roast beef, Parker House rolls, mashed potatoes, the full spread. Either someone died or they were about to try something. I sit across from Ethan and the guy's practically vibrating in his chair. He's never this excited unless somebody else did the work for him. Mom dishes out food, Dad carves the roast, and we all do the fake small talk dance. But then I spot it. A manila folder tucked beside Dad's plate, peeking out like a bad poker hand. How's the shop? Mom asks, voice a little too bright. Busy, I say. Added 2 more regulars last week. We're booked out solid. Dad clears his throat like he's about to announce the State of the Union. He sets down his fork with a clink that makes everyone jump. Then he slides the folder into the middle of the table. Ryan, your mother and I have been thinking about the future of your garage, he says. His tone has that we already decided edge to it. I lean back, arms crossed. My garage doesn't have a future problem. I already own it. That's the thing, Dad says, ignoring me. Family businesses need family management. Hold up. I tilt my head. What family business? I busted my ass building that shop. You didn't turn a wrench. Mom didn't order a single part. And Ethan can't tell the difference between a socket wrench and a tire iron. Mom waves a hand like I just said something silly. Oh, honey. You know we've supported you. Remember how we let you stay in the basement during trade school? Yeah, I say, smirking. In a room with no heat and a leaky ceiling, real 5-star support. Ethan finally jumps in, straightening like he's about to pitch on Shark Tank. I've been working on a plan, he says, grinning. I'll take over as shop manager so you can focus on cars instead of boring paperwork. I'm only asking for 25% of profits, which is super reasonable considering how much growth you'll get with me running things. I actually laugh out loud. Couldn't help it. 25%. Bro, you couldn't even keep a job selling cell phones and now you think you're running my business? Dad frowns. Ryan, show some respect. Your brother's ideas have potential. Oh yeah, like the time his potential had him trying to flip sneakers online and he ended up owing Mom $3,000. Or when he invested in crypto, lost everything, and said it was the bank's fault. I stab a piece of beef with my fork. That kind of potential.
Ethan's ears turn red, but Mom jumps in before he can snap back.
This isn't about the past. It's about the future. We need to make sure your shop stays in the family name. It's already in the family name, I say. Mine. That wipes the fake smile off Mom's face for a second, but she recovers quick. You can't do everything yourself, Ryan. You'll burn out. Ethan's a people person. Remember how he charmed that part supplier at your opening? He barely noticed you were there. Yeah, I remember. He charmed him so well the order got screwed up and I had to drive 2 hours to pick up the parts myself. Dad pushes the folder toward me, lips tight. This has already been drawn up by my attorney. All it needs is your signature. Ethan can start next week. Ethan claps his hands like a kid on Christmas morning. I already have ideas for redesigning the shop floor. Oh, and we should sponsor a car meet. My friends would love that. I lean forward, resting my elbows on the table. Let me get this straight. You two cooked up a plan, hired a lawyer, and printed papers telling me I'm supposed to hand 1/4 of my profits to Ethan, who by the way has contributed exactly nothing to this shop except headaches. Don't be dramatic, Mom says, putting on her best wounded act. This is about family sticking together. No, I say, shaking my head slowly. This is about you trying to cash in on something you didn't build. You want families sticking together? Maybe you should have shown up when I was working 12-hour days in a freezing garage just to pay rent. The table goes quiet. Ethan's smirk is gone. Dad's gripping his fork like it's about to snap. Mom's lip trembles. Her go-to performance? Whenever she feels control slipping, I push my plate away and stand up. Enjoy dinner, but let me save you some time. This whole plan is dead on arrival. Ethan slams his hand on the table. You think you're better than us just because you fixed up some cars? No, I say, grabbing my jacket. I know I'm better because I actually fixed them instead of sitting around making plans I can't follow through on. I walk out before they can fire back, slam the door behind me, and drive straight back to my apartment. My place isn't fancy. It's a one-bedroom over a laundromat that smells like dryer sheets mixed with burnt popcorn, but it's mine. Every tool in that garage, every bolt, every jack stand I paid for. I sit down on my old couch and just laugh. They really thought I'd fold over a plate of roast beef and mashed potatoes. But walking out of there brought back a flood of memories. The grind, the way they treated me versus Ethan. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized this whole ambush wasn't new. It was just the latest chapter in a long book of them undervaluing me and overhyping him. Back in trade school, I was pulling double shifts. Classes all day, then nights at a quick lube joint where the manager thought paying me an experience was a fair deal. I'd get home dead tired, crash on that freezing basement cot at my parents' house, and wake up to Ethan bragging about how mom and dad just bought him another used car to practice flipping. He crashed 2 of them within 6 months. They called it bad luck. Meanwhile, I was eating gas station burritos and trying to stretch $20 for a week. Asked Dad once if he could co-sign a loan so I could buy a decent set of tools. He laughed, said I should prove myself first. A couple months later, he co-signed Ethan's new credit card so he could build responsibility. The kid maxed it out in 3 weeks buying sneakers and gaming equipment. Guess who paid the bill? Spoiler, it wasn't Ethan. When I finally rented that first garage unit, it was a joke. Concrete floor with cracks big enough to lose sockets in. Nobelium insulation, one flickering light that buzzed like a mosquito. My office was a folding chair and a milk crate with a clipboard on it. Winter hit and I was fixing cars in 2 hoodies and fingerless gloves. I slept on a creeper more than once because I couldn't afford both rent and gas to drive home. Family came by once. Mom looked around and said, "Well, it's cute. At least you have a hobby." Hobby. I had grease under my nails, busted knuckles, and 12-hour days just to keep the lights on. Ethan, meanwhile, dropped out of another community college program, and they threw him a get-back-on-your-feet party. Balloons, cake, the whole 9 yards. The thing is, I didn't let it stop me. I'd work nights, scavenge junkyards for used parts, rebuild whatever I could. Slowly, word spread. Old-timers started bringing their classics to me because I actually cared. Younger guys brought their rides because I was cheaper than the big shops. I built trust, one job at a time. Here's the kicker. My parents never once bragged about me when I was grinding through all that. No, we're proud of you. No showing up to milestones. My graduation, trade school certificate, top of my class. They showed up late and missed the ceremony. Dad's excuse, Ethan had a dentist appointment. My first shop lease. Mom called it cute. Like I was playing pretend. Meanwhile, Ethan could trip over his own shoelaces and they'd throw him a parade. He failed classes. School just isn't for everyone. He quit jobs, he's finding his path. They bought him cars, co-signed credit, bailed him out of every mess. And somehow I was the one who had to prove myself every step of the way. Funny how none of them cared when I was broke, tired, and sleeping in my truck just to keep things going. But they sure as hell noticed once the shop started turning real money. Suddenly, every family gathering was Dad bragging about our family garage, Mom telling her bridge club I was blessed with family support. Ethan dropping lines like, "Yeah, I help my brother run the shop sometimes. Help. He helped himself to my tools and screwed me over. That's what he did." And now they want me to hand him 25% of profits, like it's his birthright, like he deserves to cash in because he shares my last name. Sitting in my apartment that night, looking at the grease stains on my hands, I made myself a promise. Next time they tried to pull this crap, I wasn't just going to walk away. I was going to hit back and hard. They thought they'd ambush me at dinner. They had no idea what was coming. A couple nights later, I'm back at my apartment, grease still on my hands from a 12-hour shift. I'm halfway through reheating leftover Chinese when there's a knock on the door. I check the peephole and almost laugh. Mom, Dad, and Ethan standing there like a mob family who lost their restaurant. I open the door just enough to lean against the frame. "What, you guys forget to serve dessert on Sunday?" Mom pushes past me before I can finish. Dad follows and Ethan strolls in last, grinning like he owns the place. They sit themselves down on my couch, the same couch I bought secondhand when I was broke, like it's a throne room. Mom puts on her soft voice. "Ryan, sweetheart, we think maybe you just overreacted at dinner." Overreacted? I drop into my recliner, grab the remote, and mute the TV. You tried to hand my shop over to Ethan like a party favor. I think my reaction was pretty polite considering. Dad clears his throat. He always does that before he tries to sound reasonable. Okay, maybe the 25% sounded a little steep, so let's compromise. Ethan will take 20% for now, a trial run. I laugh so hard I almost spill my food. Oh wow, so generous. He only steals 20 cents out of every dollar instead of 25. What a deal. You guys should work for a charity.
Ethan leans forward, elbows on his knees.
Look, bro, I can help you. You're good with the tools, but I'm good with people. You hate paperwork. I can take care of that. You focus on cars. I'll run the office. Run the office? I repeat, grinning. Last time you touched invoices, we almost got audited. And your definition of paperwork was stuffing unpaid bills into a drawer and hoping they'd disappear. Mom sighs, already pulling her guilt trip card. Ryan, family should come first. What's money compared to blood? You've worked so hard, and now you can share it with your brother. Isn't that what family is about? I lean back, hands behind my head. Family is about showing up. Where were you when I was sleeping in the garage because I couldn't afford rent? Where were you when I begged for a loan cosign and you laughed? Oh, right. Co-signing Ethan's credit card while I was pawning tools to make rent. Their smiles twitch, but I'm not done. I get up, walk to my little desk, and pull out a folder. I've been keeping receipts, literally. I drop it on the coffee table with a thud. That's an itemized list of the free labor I gave you all. Dad's truck breaks 3 times. Mom's AC unit. Ethan's endless tune-ups before dates. Add it all up, over 40 grand worth of work. And you're here asking for 20% of my profits on top of it. You've been cashing in since day one. Dad's face turns red. We supported you. Supported me? I cut him off. You skipped my graduation. Called my first shop a hobby. Mom told her friends I was playing with cars while you bragged about Ethan's 3rd community college try. The only thing you supported was his ego.
Ethan shifts uncomfortably, but I'm not letting him off.
And you remember the Civic you took out for a test drive? Crashed it into a truck, nearly got my insurance canceled. You gave away free tires to your buddies like it was your personal discount warehouse. Oh, and let's not forget promising randoms family discounts without asking me. That's your management style. I wouldn't trust you to manage the Wi-Fi password.
Ethan's face goes crimson. You think you're better than me?
No, I say, smirking. I know I am. And the best part? So does everyone else. That's why they bring their cars to me instead of you. Mom grabs my arm, eyes watering. She's going for the Oscar now. We just want to be included, Ryan. We want this to be something we all share. Don't shut us out. I peel her hand off gently and set it back in her lap. You were shut out the moment you decided my sweat and sacrifices were a family piggy bank. You want inclusion? Start paying me back. Dad stands up, puffing out his chest. You've changed. Success has made you cold. I point at the door. No, Dad, success made me independent. And you don't know how to handle a son who doesn't need you anymore. For a second, no one moves. Then I grab the door handle and swing it open. Family meeting's over. Out. They look stunned like they can't believe I'm serious. I don't yell, don't beg, don't argue, just hold the door and wait. Finally, Mom stands, dabbing at her eyes. Dad mutters something about ungrateful. Ethan stomps out last, tossing, "You'll regret this," over his shoulder. I close the door, lock it, and sit back down in my recliner. My apartment smells like grease, Chinese food, and victory. They thought they'd guilt me into handing over part of my business. Instead, I gave them a reality check they won't forget. And as far as I'm concerned, that was just round 1. The next morning, I'm back at the shop early. I roll up the bay doors, the smell of oil and rubber hitting me like coffee. Speaking of, I've got a cup in hand, hot and black, while my crew trickles in. Mondays are chaos. Our lot's already filling, phones ringing, customers pacing the waiting area. The buzz of air guns, the slam of tool drawers. It's the soundtrack of a place that actually works for a living. That's when I see a beat-up Civic pull into the lot. Music blasting. Ethan. My crew notices immediately. Carlos gives me a look like, "You want me to handle this clown?" I just shake my head. Let's see what he does. Ethan hops out, chin high, strutting like he's making a movie entrance. He walks right past the customers, ignores the employees only sign, and barges straight into the garage. "All right, everyone, listen up," he yells, clapping his hands. His voice cracks halfway through. "I'm the new manager. We're making some changes starting today." Every wrench in the place stops turning. Customers in the waiting area actually lean forward to watch the show. Mike, my lead tech, looks at him like he just grew 3 heads. Manager of what? The mop bucket? Ethan ignores him and storms up to Mike, who's elbow deep in an F-150 engine. You're fired. You don't fit the new vision. The whole garage goes dead quiet. Customers whispering. My guy's frozen, waiting for me to step in. Even the radio cuts out like it knows better. I stroll over slow and calm, sipping my coffee. I lean against the truck, watching Ethan try to puff up. Done playing dress up? I ask. I'm serious, he snaps. His face is red already. This place needs leadership. Dad and Mom agree. You're in over your head. I'm here to run this shop the right way. I point with my cup toward the wall. See that frame right there? Business license. Whose name's on it? He doesn't even look. That's paperwork. Doesn't mean anything. I cut him off. Paperwork is what gets you sued if you mess with it. My name's on that license. My name's on every paycheck, every invoice, every tax record. You don't sign anything here. You don't own anything here. Hell, you don't even change your own oil. So, unless you want me to call the cops for trespassing, get out of my garage. A couple customers laugh under their breath. Carlos chuckles loud enough for everyone to hear. One old guy in the waiting area claps once slow like he's watching a comedy show. Ethan's jaw clenches. You think you're some big shot now? I take another sip. No, I know I am compared to you. Now leave before you embarrass yourself more. He mutters something about me being ungrateful and storms out, slamming the glass door so hard it rattles. A customer pipes up, guess we know who runs this place, and everyone laughs. I just shrug and get back to work. Another round won, and I didn't even break a sweat. But Ethan doesn't quit. A few nights later, I'm home on the couch with invoices spread across the table when my phone buzzes. Security alert. I click the feed and there he is. They pull into my lot at midnight, Ethan with 2 of his idiot friends, sodas in hand like it's some prank video. They swagger up to the keypad like they've got the VIP code, only this time they don't. They punch numbers in once, twice, 3 times. Each time the lights strobe over the lot like a bad club. On the 4th try, the system goes into lockdown. A high, ugly chirp, strobe lights flashing, the alarm screaming like a banshee. They freeze for half a second. They look like guys who finally notice the consequences of being dumb. Then they freak. Ethan swears, jams the pad again, the alarm wailing louder, and they bolt for the car. One of them yanks off his hoodie as if to hide his face, but they're moving too fast. Headlights bounce down the street. They peel out, tires squealing. That nervous laugh of people who just almost got themselves arrested. Cameras catch the whole thing. The repeated code attempts, the panic. The half-formed plan to sneak in, high-def, time-stamped clear as day. I download the footage, back it up to 3 drives, and stash copies in places even Ethan wouldn't guess. I've got them trying to break in on camera. That's trespassing, attempted forced entry, and plain old stupidity on a loop. Next morning, I stroll in like nothing happened. The place hums, customers are steady, and my guys are trading jokes about Ethan's earlier stunt. Nobody knows I've got a clean copy of the alarm footage tucked away. Not yet. Carlos nudges me, eyebrow up. So boss, when you going to nail your brother for messing with the place? I grin, sliding my wallet into my back pocket. Not yet. Let him dig deeper. The more rope he takes, the harder the drop. Ethan burns through life like a match. Flashy, fast, useless when you need steady. Me, I'm patient. I wait. I collect. When I finally drop the hammer, there's no crawling back. Round 3 already loading. It doesn't take long for Ethan to make his next move. A few days after the alarm stunt, customers start showing up asking about special deals. First guy, some college kid with a rusty Honda, comes in waving a text on his phone. It's from Ethan. I can get you a brake job for half price, family discount. I look at the kid, then the phone, then back at the kid. Family discount? Hate to break it to you, but unless your last name's mine, there's no such thing. And even if it was, it sure as hell wouldn't come from Ethan. The kid looks embarrassed, mumbles something about Ethan sounding convincing, and pays full price. But it doesn't stop there. 2 more customers that week bring up similar offers. One says Ethan promised free oil changes for life if he signed up early. Another mentions Ethan told him he'd get priority service if he slipped him cash directly. By Thursday, I've had enough. Ethan's running his mouth like he's co-owner and people are buying it. But instead of blowing up, I do what I do best. Set a trap. I call up Dave, one of my regulars. Guy's been bringing his truck to me since the first month I opened. Straight shooter, loyal as they come. Dave, I say, I need a favor. Text Ethan about a deal. Pretend you're interested in a major repair. Let's see what he offers. Dave's all in. A day later, he forwards me Ethan's response. Yeah, man, I can swing you a new transmission install for cheap. I'll hook you up since I help run the shop. Don't tell Ryan, he'll just overcharge you. Perfect. Screenshots locked. Timestamps clear. One more nail for the coffin. Then comes the car meet. Local strip mall parking lot. Friday night packed with imports and muscle cars. The usual mix of guys trying to flex horsepower and kids showing off sound systems. I pull in just to hang, check out builds, keep my name floating in the community. What do I see? Ethan holding court by a row of Corollas, telling anyone who will listen that he's the brains behind my shop.
I hang back with my arms folded, watching the idiot parade. Ethan paces like he's giving a TED Talk.
Yeah, my brother's good with wrenches, he says all chest out. But running a business? That's me. I handle deals, networking, management. He just does the dirty work. A kid asks about a discount, and Ethan nods like he's sealing a mob deal. Mention my name when you go in, he says. I step forward slow, grin like I'm about to hand him a mirror and say loud enough for the whole row to hear. Oh, good. So, you're the brains. Which one of your YouTube seminars covers how to not crash a customer's Civic or promise free lifetime oil changes? The laughter starts low, then spreads. He stammers, tries to bluff, but the phone lights go up around him, someone already recording. I don't give him a line to hide behind. Look, man. Calling yourself co-owner doesn't make it true. Bragging about deals doesn't make you competent. You want to run a business? Start by keeping a car in one piece and stop selling other people discounts you don't have. His face drains color. People shout stuff I don't need to repeat. He then turns and leaves, head down, walking out like the joke he is. Clip goes live a minute later and the comments do the rest. I save the video, of course, add it to the folder with the screenshots, the alarm footage, and everything else. Piece by piece, Ethan's building my case for me. But here's the thing. My family still doesn't see it. Mom calls, acting concerned. Honey, Ethan says you're refusing good business opportunities. He's just trying to help bring in more customers. Why won't you let him contribute? I almost choke, laughing. Contribute? He's impersonating me, cutting fake deals and lying to people. That's not contribution. That's fraud. She sighs like I'm the unreasonable one. Family should work together, Ryan. He's your brother.
Yeah,
I say.
and Bernie Madoff was someone's uncle.
Doesn't mean you hand him your wallet. She hangs up on me. Fine by me. Meanwhile, Dad tries a different angle. He shows up at the shop unannounced, schmoozing customers in the waiting area. I hear him bragging, yep, our family's business. I helped Ryan get it off the ground. Always told him he'd make something of himself with us backing him. I step in, smile sharp as a blade. Funny, Dad. I don't remember your name on any loan paperwork or title. Only thing you backed was Ethan's sneaker collection. Customers laugh. Dad goes red. He storms out, muttering about me being ungrateful. By the end of the week, the situation's clear. Ethan's making promises he can't keep. Dad's inflating his role. And Mom's running interference. The community is already laughing at Ethan thanks to that video, but I'm not relying on public opinion. I'm building something stronger. Late one night, I sit at my desk with my laptop open. The folder's fat now, security footage of Ethan trying to break in, screenshots of him offering fake deals, recorded calls from confused customers. That car meet video going viral, Mom and Dad's Facebook posts bragging about the family business. Every piece organized, labeled, timestamped. Evidence, not just stories. Carlos walks in to grab his jacket and sees me working. Boss, what's all that? I close the folder, smirking. Insurance policy. He grins. Legal? Let's just say, I tell him, leaning back. When they try to push again, I'm not just going to argue. I'll bury them. Because here's the truth. Ethan thinks this is a sibling rivalry. Mom and Dad think it's a family squabble. But I'm already 3 steps ahead. The next round isn't just me calling them out, it's me dragging them into court. And when that hammer drops, it won't just sting. It'll end them. The final straw came on a Tuesday morning. I was under the hood of an F-150 when my tire rep calls. He sounded annoyed. Ryan, your dad just rang me up, tried renegotiating prices like he's part owner of your shop. Wanted to lock in bulk discounts. What's going on? I wiped my hands on a rag and laughed. Not surprised, just done. He's not part owner. He's not even part of the mailing list. Thanks for the heads up. That was it. No more waiting for them to dig deeper. Time to flip the switch. First stop, the police station. I walked in with a flash drive in my pocket. The break-in footage of Ethan and his 2 buddies failing to crack my keypad. High def, alarm blaring, time-stamped. I handed it straight to the officer at the desk. He plugged it in, watched Ethan panic and bolt like a scared kid, and raised his eyebrows. "You want to press charges?" he asked. "Yep. Trespassing, attempted entry, tampering. Whatever sticks," I said. "That's my business, and that's my proof." Paperwork got filed. Case number assigned. The officer told me they'd contact Ethan for questioning. I didn't even crack a smile walking out. I just felt settled. The break-in wasn't a dumb family stunt anymore. It was a matter for the cops. Next move, my lawyer. I sat across from her desk, handed over a fat folder. Screenshots of Mom and Dad's Facebook posts bragging about the family business. Ethan's car meet nonsense. Texts from vendors about Dad's fake deals, and now the official police report. She flipped through it like she was reviewing a menu. "You've got more than enough," she said. "We'll start with cease and desist letters. Then if they keep pushing, we go for business interference and damages." "Do it," I said. By Friday, the letters were served, certified, stamped, undeniable. One to Ethan, one to Mom, one to Dad. I heard later that Mom cried when the guy in the uniform handed it to her. Dad apparently called it a scare tactic. Ethan, he went quiet for the first time in weeks. The reaction from vendors in the community was almost immediate. My brake supplier called to say, "Hey, thanks for clearing that up. Your old man sounded shady as hell." The local car forum posted a screenshot of the cease and desist letter someone leaked, roasting Ethan in the comments. And my shop still steady, still packed. Customers rolled in like always. First thing Monday morning, my lawyer filed the next piece: an injunction, business interference, misrepresentation, damages. A clerk stamped it the same day, and my lawyer texted, "Hearing date scheduled, you're locked in." Later that week, Karma delivered them straight to my door. Dad and Ethan showed up, both red-faced, holding the papers like they were radioactive. "You're suing your own family?" Dad barked, waving the envelope. I leaned on the doorframe, calm. "Correction. I'm suing two guys who pretended to run my business." "Big difference." Ethan puffed his chest. "This is harassment. You're ruining our name." I smirked. "Our name? Ethan? The only name you've got in the car scene is the dude who crashed a Civic and tried to break into his brother's shop. And thanks to the police report, that's not just a reputation, it's on file." That shut him up quick. He tried to look tough, but his eyes flicked down. He knew the cops would be calling soon. Dad switched gears. Tried the guilt trip. "Family should come first, Ryan. You're turning on your own blood." I crossed my arms. Family should have come first when I was grinding 16-hour days to keep the lights on. Family should have come first when I opened my shop and you skipped it for Ethan's fundraiser. Family should have come first before you started telling vendors you owned my work. You don't get to cry family now. Silence. Just the sound of Ethan shifting his weight and Dad's breathing getting heavier. For once, I wasn't the one on defense. They were. I stepped closer, lowered my voice. "Here's how this plays out. You keep pushing, you lose in court, you back off, you still deal with the cops on the break-in. Either way, I win. And you're done pretending you built what I bled for." Dad's face went redder. Ethan muttered something under his breath. I didn't care. I shut the door on them mid-sentence. Felt good, like slamming a lid on a trash can. That night, I sat at my desk, flipping through the folders. Police report filed. Cease and desist letters delivered. Injunction scheduled. Every move they tried to pull was backfiring harder each time. They wanted to play business owners. Fine. Now they get to play defendants. And when that court date comes, I'll be sitting there calm, evidence stacked, ready to end this circus once and for all. Because the truth is simple. They tried to take my shop. Instead, I took their credibility, their leverage, and soon enough their money. And that hammer, it's already in my hand. Court day came faster than I expected. One minute, I was under a Dodge Charger swapping out a transmission. Next minute, my lawyer's reminding me to wear something that doesn't smell like motor oil. I showed up in a clean button-down jeans and boots. No tie. I wasn't there to impress anybody. I was there to finish what they started. Dad and Ethan rolled in like they were walking a red carpet. Dad in his dated suit. Ethan in a cheap blazer that still had the tag string on the cuff. Mom tagged along too, sitting behind them, already holding tissues like she planned to cry on command. When the judge entered, everyone stood. The whole place smelled like disinfectant and bad coffee. My lawyer started clean, laying out the evidence like she was teaching a class. Vendor statements, screenshots of Facebook posts where Mom bragged about the family business, texts of Dad trying to cut deals, Ethan's discount promises, and finally the cherry on top, the break-in video. The courtroom monitor flickered on. There it was. Ethan and his buddies fumbling with the keypad, alarm blaring, then bolting like clowns. The sound echoed through the room. A few people in the back chuckled. Ethan's face went red, jaw tight, staring at the table like he wished he could melt into it. The judge leaned forward. "That's you in the video?" Ethan mumbled. "Yes, Your Honor." "And you claim you're part of this business?" He swallowed hard. "Not officially. My lawyer didn't even bother with more questions. She just let the silence roast him alive." Then Dad got his turn. His lawyer tried spinning it, saying my father was only looking out for the business and helping with family legacy. The judge wasn't buying it. He raised the cease and desist letters. "You were explicitly told to stop representing yourself as part of the shop, yet you continued." Dad puffed his chest. "I was protecting my son's future." I finally spoke loud and clear. "No, you were protecting your ego. Big difference." The judge actually smirked. He didn't stop me, which told me everything I needed to know. By the time closing statements rolled around, it wasn't even close. The evidence wasn't just stacked, it was overkill. Every shady move they pulled was documented, signed, stamped, and played on a screen. My lawyer asked for damages, attorney fees, and a permanent injunction to bar them from ever using my business name again. The ruling didn't take long. The judge sided fully in my favor. On top of that, the judge noted the criminal side and said the court would flag the break-in video to the DA's office on top of my already filed police report. Ethan's face drained like someone pulled the plug. Dad muttered something about appeals, but even he knew it was over. When the gavel came down, it felt like steel hitting concrete. Final. Absolute. I walked out of that courthouse taller than ever. Vendors texted me, "Congrats," before I even got back to my truck. Customers who'd seen the viral video messaged saying they respected how I handled it. My crew back at the shop had a pizza waiting. Blasting another one bites the dust on the radio. Meanwhile, Dad and Ethan, their names were mud. Vendors blacklisted them, car meets laughed them out, and the police report was still hanging over Ethan's head, meaning even if he wanted to play tough, he couldn't. Every move they tried to pull backfired so hard it left scars. Mom tried calling that night. "Ryan, you didn't have to destroy your brother like that." I answered with a straight tone. "No, Mom. He destroyed himself. I just stopped him from dragging me down with him." Click. Hung up before she could spin more guilt. The thing is, I didn't even feel rage anymore, just clarity. I wasn't the kid desperate for their approval. I wasn't the backup plan to Ethan's screw-ups. I was the guy who built something real, defended it, and proved it in front of a judge. They couldn't take that away if they tried. A week later, a couple customers brought up the case while waiting for oil changes. One of them said, "Man, must feel good putting them in their place." I grinned, tightening a lug nut. Didn't put them anywhere, they did that themselves. I just handed the judge the map. Business only got stronger. Vendors gave me better deals, knowing I was solid. Word spread that my auto shop wasn't just good with cars. It was run by someone who didn't play games. And Ethan, last I heard, he was back at some entry-level desk job telling anyone who'd listened that he used to be part of the shop. Nobody believes him now. As for Dad, he avoids me in public, probably embarrassed. Doesn't matter. He made his bed. Me? I'm still in the shop. Grease under my nails. Customers lined up out the door. But the difference is I don't carry their weight anymore. I'm not looking over my shoulder waiting for the next scheme. They tried everything. Guilt trips, fake deals, break-ins, lies, and I shut it all down. That hammer dropped. And like I promised, it didn't just sting, it ended them.